lesson. Okay. Hi to everyone. To today's lessons for the illustrative design module of the course. In the previous lesson, I explained for the second time the software Adobe Express, that it's a very powerful tool that allows us to create, first of all, graphic compositions like for posters, for social media posts, and also allows us to create some concept for some logo design. In today's lesson, I would like to show you how to compose and how to use templates for the Office suite in the specific way for Word and for PowerPoints. That because we can use some of these softwares as in a small part, of course, as graphic design softwares, of course, with some limitations. But I will show you some tips and tricks on how to compose a template and how to use it. So let me share my screen. And I can't find the okay, share screen. Screen 2. Okay, as you can see here, there is this is the main page that we can find in the software Word. In this case, when we open the software, not the first time, but normally. As you can see here, there is you can see a list of all the Word of the files that you have created and opened in this in your computer. But you can have some presets. We will ignore them for now. So let me, for a moment, let me open the chat if we need it. Let's start with an empty document. The first thing that we see, that we have a white page, basically in a basic format, and we can add some modification to the file. For example, choosing the layout. So we can choose to have a vertical page or an horizontal page. So we can choose between portrait and landscape. We can choose the size of our page. In this case, the basic option is the A4 paper sheet. That is the normal sheet of paper that you can put in your home printer. But the A format, it's an international standard format for printing. So we have A4, that is it's the normal paper, A3, that is the double the size of an A4, and we can go up and down in the size. The basic size is the A4, that it's that have a value of 21 millimeters of width and 29.7 centimeters by 8, or reverse if we use an horizontal format. The first thing that we have to understand is that normally, for example, we could create an headed paper for a project, for a business, for a brand, or for anything you need. Also for you can create your personal headed paper, and you can add some decorations in our document using the header option. How we can add elements in our header. We simply have to make a double click on the top part of the paper sheet, and you will see this interface that stays for header, and where we can find the option for header and footer. The first thing that we can see is that we can change a few options. For example, we can choose to have a different style for the first page and a different style for the other pages. Why we can do this? Because maybe we would like to create a document that need a cover page, and can come in handy for create documents. For example, I've prepared the headed paper for the SEED4AFRICA project, and I will show you how we can compose something. Once we are here in this header option, the first thing that we would like to do is to add, maybe, I don't know, a background, or better, the first thing to do is to set, in this case, different page. So in this case, we will have the cover of the document that have a style, and the other pages another style. What we can do now, we can start adding elements. So if we go on Insert, we will see that we have a lot of options. We can add pictures, we can add shapes, we can add icons, we can add 3D models, but we will see it better in the PowerPoint section of this lesson. We can add charts, screenshot, online videos, links, bookmarks, etc., etc., etc. But the thing that interests us is the Pictures tab, where we can choose between a picture from this device, a picture from stock images, or online pictures. Now, choosing this device, you will see that we can go in a folder where we can have images. Now let me see if in the download tab, if we have some images. For example, this one, I can click on Insert. The first thing that we can see is that automatically it sets the image at the center of the header part of the template, and we can see that we can't move the image. That's why Word automatically sets as a layout option the inline with the text option that don't allows us to move the image, and maybe we need to move it for placing, put it in place for the graphic idea that we want to develop. So there is any question? No. Okay. The thing that we can choose to do is to set the image on behind text or in front of text. The thing that will change is that between these two is that if we choose behind the text, all the text parts that we will add into the header will be over the image. On the contrary, if we choose in front of text, it will be the contrary, of course. Now I will select behind, because normally these kind of images are we need to be behind text. Now, in this case, this is an image, but it will be a graphic element or other stuff. And as you can see now, I can move the image wherever I want. I put it here in the center. I can scale it. Pay attention to pressing the Shift button on your keyboard when you resize an image, because it is using this option. So pressing the Shift key allows you to resize an image or every graphic element that you will add into a composition with the right proportions. Now I'm holding the Shift. If I don't hold the Shift, this is what will happen. Oh, no, this is a thing that they fixed. It's not, it's okay. No, I can do it, not scaling it from the diagonal, but from the horizontal, and from vertical, I can deform the images. This is a thing that we don't need to do, because images, graphic compositions, etc. we don't have to be deformed. Now, instead of in an image, I could also add, for example, a shape. We have a lot of shapes that we can use. We have squares, circles, rounded squares, triangles, arrows, lines, text boxes, free forms. You can prepare free forms. You can choose a lot of different shapes. There is the for example, rectangle with a single corner, with two corners like this kind of leaf, etc. The only limit is the fantasy. And we can use these elements for create geometric shapes that can come in handy with what we want to create normally. And now I will show you for an example of how, for example, I work with the projects. Now I will open a template, a Word template from the SEED4AFRICA project. For give you an example, edit paper vertical. This is what we can create with only, in this case, with Word, but we could use, in this case, this is a mix of basic shapes that we can find in Word and a mix of vector files that I've generated with Illustrator, that it's a professional vector file editor. The cool thing about Word is that you can import SVG files. If you don't remember, SVG file, it's an open source vector format that it's compatible also with the Office suite. So, for example, if we have a logo, a vector logo in PDF, in AI format, or other vector formats, we can convert it into SVG file that can be loaded in a composition. In this case, as you can see, we have, if I double click on the header part of the template, you can see that we have here a PNG file with all the partners of the project. Here we have the logo of the project in SVG format. And in this case, I prefer, if it's possible, to use vector format, because it will give us a more lightweight file at the end. because vector files are more lightweight than raster file, like PNG files, JPEG files, because if you remember, vector files are composed not by pixels, but it's not composed by pixel, but it's composed by mathematical formulas. Okay. I need to move some windows here for have a better overview of what's happening in the call. So, and we have all these elements. In this case, we have this. This is also, again, an SVG file that I've prepared for this template. And I've put here as a background this light yellow background for have a better layout for the cover of the document. And as you can see here, for example, in the second page, it is basically the background of the template. It's white. The only parts that are graphic elements are this, in this case, the logo, this table that we have to put in each template, and in this case there is this footer with this disclaimer that it's mandatory to add in European in Erasmus Plus projects. But coming back to our empty document, as I showed you before, you can start adding elements. So for example, I will add a rectangle. And as you can see, the default option is this, with this blue and black stroke, black outline. But I can choose to, if I go here in the shape format tab, I can choose to, for example, change the color of the outline, or choose to don't add any outline. So I will choose no outline, and I can choose the fill of the in this case the shape, but it's the same thing also if you upload SVG files. You can change the color of the graphic elements. If I go on more fill colors, you will see this color selector, and you can choose a tone for the image, or if you are working on a brand, you can choose the hexadecimal value of the hexadecimal value of one part of the brand. Now, for example, if I will open again the SEED4AFRICA, as you can see here, this is the visual identity manual of the SEED4AFRICA project, where you can see that I've put the color palette used in the project. So we have this brown that have these values, and with the hexadecimal value. If you remember, hexadecimal values, it's a color scheme that it's used mostly on the web, but it can be used also in the basically all the graphic softwares or the Office suite. So I can select the value, going back to my composition, and I can paste the value here, and as you can see, we have the same color of the same tone of brown of the logo. Same stuff, for example, with the green. I could, for example, insert another shape. In this case, I will choose a triangle. And I could, again, I can change the, I can use the, I can change the outline, but I will use no outline. I can change the fill of the triangle. I will paste the values for the green. And as you can see here, now we have, as you can see here, we have the two colors of the logo. That allows us to use the color of our brand for create the coordinate image. Coordinate image, it's a set of things that could be office templates, business cards, headed paper, all the communication material that our brand will need. Okay, the same thing could be done, for example, also with we could add in our header a text box, because maybe we want a text that will be in the top part of our composition. Pay attention to the fact that by default the text box comes to the composition with a white background, a white fill, so I will choose no fill, and a black outline. Normally I deselect all of this because I want that these text parts, these text boxes will be only for the text. Okay. Here you can see that these green lines that come in the software, it's guides that is telling us that the element it's in the center of the page. But if we remain on the shape format tab, we can choose. We have here the align panel where we can choose how align our element. In this case, it's aligned on the center, but we could choose to align it on the left. We can in this case it's not very with the fact that there is not enough space, it's not changing too much. But for example, if I go here on the rectangle and I choose aligned on the right, you will see that it's aligned on the right with the rulers of the software. And this is all for the header and footer part of the composition. Now, when I've done with all my modifications, I can go on header and footer and click on close header and footer, or I can simply double click out. No. Double click in the web page, and you will see that our graphic elements becomes transparent, but they are not. This means that that makes part of the header. Of course, if we need to convert this file, for example, into a PDF, we have to pay attention, because all the parts that now we see in transparency, they will become in full color. So what it means that if we add text in the page, and we will now, let me see if I can, if there is the, no, I can type casual letters, and I can put them here in the center. you can see that if I will export the file, all this text will be not readable because the brown rectangle will become in full color. It will be not readable. How can we resolve this? We can choose, for example, if we go again in the header and footer part of the composition, to change the transparency of the opacity of the elements. So clicking here on the rectangle, I can click on the right. I can click on format shape, fill, and I can change the opacity. Maybe 50% will let me have the text more readable. Same thing, I can do it for the triangle, but also, for example, for the, no, not for the text box. Now, if I go on a new page, I can do it in two ways. Simply typing on the return button until I go on the next page, or I can go on insert, page break, and I will be sent automatically to the second page in this case. As you can see here, the layout is different. It's totally white because I've choose to put my header part of the composition with a different style for the first page and a different style for the page from the second to infinity, basically. What it means that I could, for example, using the same elements, I could take it there. For example, I could resize them. I could change the alignment of the shapes for have a different layout. And as you can see, we have a different layout for the first page and the page that go over. It's not over yet, because another important thing that we have to do when we prepare a template for Word, for the Word software, it's to choose the style of the text. As you can see here, we have all the style of all the text that we can add into our document. We have all of this, and the thing that we have to do, for example, if we are producing a document for a brand, is to use the font that will be used for the brand. Coming back to the example of the SEED4AFRICA visual identity manual, you can see here that I've specified that the font family that has to be used for the project is Poppins. That is a Google font. Google font, it's a platform owned by Google, of course, where you can download for free a lot of fonts that can be used in graphic design softwares, can be used in Word. They are integrated, that they can be used easily in web development, for example, using the WordPress platform. That is one of the most popular platforms that can be used. But Cristiano will explain you better this in his part of the course when you will start working on WordPress. And they also integrated in softwares, in online softwares like Canva or Adobe Express that I've shown you in the first two lessons, in the previous lessons. So the thing that we have to do is now, one by one, go changing the style of this text. So starting from the normal style, you can click with the right button of the mouse. We can go on modify and we can choose the name is, don't change the name of the style because there is some extension, some softwares, I never use them, but I know that they exist, that allows you to compose a Word document without manually insert the style of the text, because it will tell this one is the title, this one is the subtitle, this one is the normal text, etc., etc., etc. But the thing that we can do is to change first, starting from the normal style, the font that we use in the document. So the basic option is the Calibri font, that it's not a bad font, but maybe we want to customize it a little bit more. So we can click here on the arrow and we can start searching a font. In this case, I will use the font of the SEED4AFRICA project. So I will digit Poppins here. The weight, the value here of the height of the text, it's okay, 18. We can choose to have the text in bold, in italic, or bold and italic together, but for the normal text, my suggestion is to use the normal text, and we can choose the color. Here we have the same selector that I show you in the shape tab of the editor. And in this case, we have two options. We can choose another color in this case, we have these two, that is the main colors of the logo, but we can, with the fact that this is the base text, we can choose between the black or, and this is not, it's not a rule, but it's a little suggestion that I will give you, to use a dark gray, because using the full black color will leave will become the text too heavy and to see. Maybe a dark gray could be better to read it, and it will be not too much heavy. First step, as you can see here, some of the text setup here has changed. For example, this one that is no spacing has become automatically in Poppins in light gray and 11 value of size. Okay. We are going back to the titles, the heading. The first one, as you can see here, that is the main title of the paragraph. So we can choose Poppins, we can choose bold, and in this case, automatically it uses this blue. But we can choose, for example, this light green from the SEED4AFRICA logo. Click on OK. Going to the heading 2, same stuff. Poppins, bold. In this case, we can use the brown. Okay. We have the title, the main title of the book. Again, Poppins, 28, it's okay. In this case, we can use another color. Maybe you can use an orange. This one. Bold, okay. We can choose a subtitle style. Again, Poppins. Again, I can use the light green. Again, same stuff. So Poppins, this one, and dark gray. I know that it's a little bit tedious, I understand, but this is how to prepare in the properly way this kind of documents. And here, now I am using the same color for all the normal text stuff, but we could use a different color, for example, for each um, for each uh, text style. An important thing in this case is to change also the color of these lines. We can modify them clicking on format, border. Here you can see the color, and we can change the color here. Again, Poppins, again 11, okay. Here again, green, Poppins 11. Book title, again, Poppins. In this case, I will put it a little bit bigger. And I can use this one. An important thing is you can also modify the this one that it's for the summary. It's for the it's for the table of contents that we can add into a document. Now I can start. I can show you how to format correctly, the properly way the text. Now I will start with title 1. Title 2. Now, if I select here the title 1 text, and I go on home, I can choose heading 1. The text here it's on set on normal. Title 2, you can choose the option. Now, if I go here and I click on references, table of context, and I choose the first style, you will see that here we have the correct order of the headings that I've added. Of course, I could add heading 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. It's important to format the text like this because for the summary, for the table of context and similar, it's more easy to prepare in a professional way a document. Okay. Now, is there any question? It's all clear. There is some difficulties. Okay, everything is clear. Okay. So the last thing that I will show you is that, okay, we can add text, we can add images. Of course, I can import images also in the document. So I can click on insert pictures, this device. Again, I will load my image here. Again, as I showed you before, the image is fixed on the layout in line with the text, but we can, in this case, we can choose not behind or in front of the text, but I suggest you, for example, to choose the square layout that allows us to add some text, for example, and allows us to let the text be. No, something is going wrong. Like this, maybe. No, I don't know what's happening, but technically the text will surround the image. Now I'm not understanding what's happening, but maybe you can try to experiment. But after that, another thing that we can insert, it's a table, because for some kind of document could happen that we need to add tables. Another thing that we can that we have to consider for for the um, coordinate image is the fact that we have to create custom styles for the tables. So we can click on here on add a table. In this case, I will add a 3x2 table. I can select it. You can see here the table layout tab, it's activated. So I can click here. No, table design. I can customize the style of this table. We can click on the right with the right button of the mouse. We can choose modify table style, and here we can start basically customizing the style. So choosing the wall table, apply formatting to wall table, we can choose the font that we have to use in the table. We can choose the color of the text. In this case, we use this dark gray again, and we can choose the style of the wall lines that compose the table. So we can go on format, borders and shadings. So borders, we can choose the brown color. We can choose the weight of the line that will compose the table. So 1 point, it's okay. And we can choose which part of the table has to have lines. For example, could be an idea to have for make something more stylish, to choose to have the lines only on the upper and down lines of the table, and on the center. Maybe we could remove, for example, the lines on the left side of the table. Now, another thing that we can do is also to modify the header row for have a different style. So we can leave the whole style like this, but we can add, for example, a background color, and the text will be in the first row of the table, the same font, but in this case with a white color. So and this is our custom table. Of course, we can we can choose, we can create a lot of different styles of tables. The only limit is our fantasy. Now, that's all for the word part of the lesson. Now, I think that we can make a 15 minutes break. So now it's 3:05 here in Italy. In 15 minutes, we will come back in video. Stay connected. I will mute myself, my camera, and my microphone. So see you later. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. See you later.
Okay, here we are. Uh, if you're all back, oh, I see that someone is disconnected, but it's not a problem. We can continue. I will ask again if there is any question, any doubt about what I show you for Word. No. Okay. Now, coming back to our lesson, now I will share again the screen. Maybe before, let me open also another thing. Okay. Let me share my screen. Now, as you can see here, we have what we can find in the PowerPoint interface when we open the software. It's pretty similar to Word because it's the Office suite, so the layout is the same basically. Now, if we click on blank presentation, this is what we find. A white paper page with two text box for the title and the subtitle. The first thing that we have to understand is that in a PowerPoint presentation there is a lot of layout that we can use. Now, if you click with here, there is the new slide button, but if you see this arrow here, we can see that we have a lot of layout available. That means that we can customize all of them. And that's why I will show you how to do this. Some of the procedure is for a lot of things the same that we can find in Word. In this case, we have to go on View, Slide Master. And as we can see, we have the whole layout that we can the whole layouts that we can find in a PowerPoint presentation. The first thing that we have to consider is that we have here the master slide. What it means that this is a slide layout that it's not available in all the in the empty template, but decide the main style of the whole presentation. So it means that if I select here on the click to edit the master style title, I can change, if I change the font from Calibri that we have already, that it's again it's the basic font that we can use, that we can find in an Office document. We can start selecting a font. Turning back to what we have done in Word, I will start selecting Poppins again. And as you can see here, it automatically changed the style of the title of each layout of the presentation. But we can also, for example, change the color using this orange. And you will see that, again, automatically all the titles of the other layouts has changed. Here we can choose again another font. We can remove, for example, the bullet point editor, and we can, here I will have the font in bold. Here I can change the color. Again, we can use the dark gray or a lighter one. It depends of how the layout will be set up for the presentation. A thing that I usually do in each template that I prepare, it's to remove this part of the layout with the date, the footer, and normally I remove also this one that is it's the number of the page. It's the page number part where I can add. I can change here also the style. I can change the weight of the weight of the font. I can change the font using again Poppins, for example. I can change the size of the page number, and I can change the color. The thing that I can do is to remove it also from the other layouts. Because I prefer to have a clean page. Here, for example, there is the empty layout. In this case, I will remove the page number also from that. And maybe also from the title, because I think that it's better like this. Okay. Here I'm showing you all the main layouts that we can find in a presentation. Okay, so going back to our master slide, I can start adding elements like we have done for Word. And again, we can import shapes, icons, pictures. I will start adding some shapes. In this case, pay attention to send to the back the element that we add into the slide, because it will cover the text. Okay, so we can click with the right button of the mouse and we can click on send to back. And again, we can also change the outline of the shape. In this case, I will remove it. And again, we can choose, change the color of the shape. Here we have the same options that we found on Word. We have the line button. We can add that, where we can add we can align the shape on the center, in the middle like this, on the left, on the right. If we have more elements, we can align them together between them at the same height in the upper top and in the bottom top. And we can group elements. So we can move them together and we can ungroup them. again, we can clicking with the right, we can change the format shape of the shape. So we can change, we can choose no filling, a solid fill, a gradient fill, where we can add a lot of colors and create a gradient like this. We can change the transparency of the elements. We can choose to rotate, to let the gradient rotate with the shape, to don't rotate with the shape or rotate with the shape. So we can create graphic compositions like as we want. We can we can create a gradient not only of 2 colors, but 3, 4, 5, etc. We can change the angle of the gradient. We can change the type of gradient. We can choose between linear, a radial gradient, rectangular gradient, or can create a path. Or we can add a texture. In this case, this is very ugly. The basic patterns that Office give us the possibility to use, it's very ugly, so don't use them. Or you can add an image. So click on insert, you can choose from a file, stock image, etc. And I can import this. As you can see here, the image in this case will be deformed. So I suggest you to don't do this, but use solid colors or gradients for these elements. Or we can import pictures. So again, we can import photos, as we have done in Word. Remember always to send them to the back if you want that the text will be not covered by the images. Or you can import, for example, an SVG file and in this case you can change, you can add an out, you can play with these files as you can do with the basic shapes, changing the fill, because maybe you have a logo that you have where you have to change the color. Or you can, for example, make some cool effects like this. You can add a stroke without a fill and make this composition that can be good to use. Or going to play, you can play with the weight of the line for have cool effects. A cool thing about PowerPoint is that, okay, now we have the basic layout for all the slides, but we could change, we could make a custom layout for each a custom graphic composition for each slide style. For example, we want for the normal slides this background, but maybe we want to make something more particular in the title in the title layout. So in this case now I've pasted the orange rectangle that I've put in the previous layout. Click on send to back, and I could, for example, make the title not orange but white, or a color that have a good visibility with our layout. Okay. Or we could change, for example, we want to add graphic elements on the left or on the right of the title, so we can move the text boxes. Maybe we can align them on the right like this, and here we can add, for example, the graphic element. Okay. And we can do this for all the layouts that we have. We can take the layouts that, now let me remove this because it will be not too much visible. We could change the layout, of each the style of each layout. Again, we can put in the title here the centered, aligned in the center. We can take this one with the title, the subtitle, and the normal text, and we could, for example, resize the text boxes. These text boxes are particular because we can add text, but we can also add images, icons, videos, embed websites and other stuff. Same thing here. We could, for example, put the title upper, the subtitle like this. We can change, we can take each text box, and we can change the shape format. We can change the basic shape of the text box. Now let me add a fill on this for give you a concrete example. Now, with my text boxes selected, I can decide to change the shape. Maybe I want a rounded square, or I would like to add to use, for example, in this one on the left, we would like to use this one. No. I can find it. Okay, this. And here we can add, you can choose, for example, a rounded square. We can play with the shapes for have more fun. Every shape has this yellow handle that allows us to play with the shape, etc., etc., etc. The only limit is the fantasy. Now, for once we have done with all our setup, we can click on Close Master View, and we come back to our title screen of the presentation. We can click on New Slide, and automatically we have the one with the title and the text, or we can add pictures, stock images, icons, smart art that are complex graphic can insert we can insert 3D models, we can insert videos, we can insert tables, we can insert charts. A cool thing that I would like to show you is how we can use 3D models in our presentations. This is a thing that it's very cool to use, because you can use stock 3D models that you can find in the library of Microsoft, or if you are familiar with software like Blender or similar, you can create your own 3D model and import it into the presentation. Now I will show you how to do this with the stock 3D models, because I'm not a 3D modeler. So clicking here on 3D models. We have a lot of things to choose. I will start with animated models, and for example, we can import the skeleton. Okay. Oh, this is animated. We can change the. No, let me. Insert 3D models. Anatomy. No. Let me make. Again, I will try with the skeleton. Okay, we can pause it. A thing that we can do is, once we put 3D model in the into composition, we can play with the 3D model for make dynamic presentations. What it means that now, as you can see here, there is this handle that allows us to pause, to move the model in his 3 axis. But it allows us, if I click here on the preview of the slides, I can click with the right button of the mouse and I can click on duplicate. Maybe, please don't move. Now, why I duplicated this? Because if I go here in the second slide and I start to rearrange the 3D model, maybe zooming on the skull, for example, and if I go on transitions and I select the morph transition, you will see that now you should be seeing the presentation, right? You can see that the model is moving, and we could choose to go on the details. In this case, this could be the skull section. We can zoom on the arms, on the legs, on the feet, and now maybe I could use a less movable 3D model. Okay, maybe you can choose okay, the T-Rex. Okay. Maybe we want the side view of the model. We want the front view of the model. Then maybe we want the detail of, for example, the head. Now again, if I go on transition and I select morph, you will see that we have a smooth transition between the various views of the model. Imagine that for each slide you can add some pop-up windows that will give you, for example, the details of, in this case, the length of the model, the height, the detail of the teeth, the eye, the skin, etc. This is very cool. And the cool thing is that you can, once you have done, you can export, you can save the file as a presentation, but you can also, if you want, export the presentation like as a video. That can come in handy if you need to do an animated presentation. Okay. Do you have any questions? Anything to tell? Some no? Okay. Another, and this is the last things that I will show you, is that we can view. If we go back to slide master, we can also choose directly the color palette of the presentation. So we can choose the color of the dark background if we want to create something more detailed. So we can change every part, every color that compose the text. For example, you can change the color of the hyperlink that you can add in a presentation, normal, and when you click on it, you can choose the colors of the gradients. You can choose the basic color of the shapes, etc., etc., etc. Now, I will stop my sharing. At this point, if again, if there is any question, feel free to ask. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Please.
Andrea, how are you?
Oh, fine. Thanks.
Okay. My question is about, let's say, manual or guideline. I want to know. It's not only for you, the question, it's to all presenters. In addition of the recording, is there any possibility to have the manual of all those apps and so on you exposed?
In this case, there isn't an instruction manual There is the online guide in this case of Microsoft for
PowerPoint.
yeah, for PowerPoint and for Word, but also for Excel and all the other software that compose the Office suite. I don't know if I think that of course there will be specific manuals for advanced use of these softwares, but I think that this is the basic use of how to use PowerPoint in a more specific way, because it have more tools that allows us to use it as a semi-professional graphic design software instead of Word, that it's a text editor that allows us to make cool stuff, but it's used for documents, for basic text edits.
I know for Microsoft, there is no problem for many people because it's quite common. But that's why I was telling it's not, only for you. The question is not addressed to you, but for all those apps we exposed in the past. We need to have a manual instruction and all those things. But in addition of the recording.
Again, I don't have a manual for this. The best thing that I can suggest you is to try make tests. That's why when I explained you the Adobe Express software, I suggest you to make some tests and send me the result. Now,
But nobody did it.
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's a little problem, but I hope that maybe in this period, with the fact that we are near to the holidays, maybe some people we could have some problems. It's not a problem. Okay, but the thing that I'd like to share with you today is how to proper use in a specific way Word, because I see that a lot of people don't know how to format properly the text, don't respect the hierarchy of the text, and this could create problems, especially if you need to present a document in a more professional way as possible. Of course, there is a lot of softwares that are similar in the specific way to Word. An example could be let me close the Office suite. I can show you, for example, in Google, if you have a Gmail account, you have access, for example, to, let me share again the screen. You have access to the Google Office suite that have documents that is pretty similar to Word. Google Docs, yes. And for example, here you can see that we have an empty sheet of paper, but if I double click here, you can see that we have the same setup of Word. So here you can add images, you can add an header, a footer, all the elements, okay? The same thing in Google Presentation. Now, in Google Presentation, I'm not very skilled because I never used for create templates from zero, but in this case, Google is the solution. You can find some, if you want to experiment with that, you can search online how to compose templates on Google Presentation. And the only problem with the Google Google Suite is that it works only online. You have to use the cloud. When you create a Gmail account, you have access to, if I'm not wrong, 15 gigabytes of cloud space. That's enough for storage of Word documents, but could be a problem for big files like videos, like graphics elements, like heavy PDFs and similars. Okay.
Hello? Yeah. Hello?
So at this point, I think
Hello.
that for today it's enough. Thank you for the attention. Happy holidays, and see you next time.
Holidays,
Yeah, thank you. But I supposed to ask question before.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Is it the last session before the holidays?
No, there is lesson on
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
And after that,
I
will
think
be
with
January.
Cristiano, and then there is the holiday stop. It's the last.
Last week.
It's the last week before holidays. It's my
Okay.
last lesson before holidays.
Okay.
Okay. So again, have a nice
Enjoy your holidays.
Yeah, we
happy holidays. Hi.
Yeah.
We are closing the call. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
And see you next time. Bye bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.